Hello, Steve from Beato's Leatherworks. Today's project is we're going to be working on this Thursday Brawler boot. Now, we're not only going to work on it, but we're going to talk about it, give it somewhat of a review of what I think what these boots are about. Now, I'm a YouTube viewer also. I watch videos all the time, just like you guys do. I came across this channel. This guy's name is Carl Murawski. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Basically, he does lots of reviews on workwear, boots, clothing, and such. So he had this video of this Thursday boot where he collaborated with Thursday Boot Company to come up with a style, this boot called Brawler. Well, it caught my interest, and me being in the industry of repairs, I do lots of repairs on Thursday boots. Now, are they my favorite? Not really, no, they're not, but they're not bad for the price point. Now, this particular pair was $325, much more than their $199 usual price for their boots. I said, you know what? Let me buy one and let me take it apart and let's see what it's made of, and basically rebuilt them the way I want them to get done. And that's the reason I bought this. Now, this isn't a paid collaboration with anybody. This is my pair of boots. I'm going to wear these, and I purchased them myself. I had no help with anybody else. No company reached out to me. It was just my idea of, you know what, maybe it'd not be a bad idea for me to look at this boot and see what it's made of and see if it's what they say it is. All right, let's get started. Now, these boots are the bronze brown. Now, this wasn't my first choice. My first choice was the cinnamon waxed flesh. But unfortunately, they didn't have that in my size, so I had to order this one. I don't know, I kind of like this one now that it came in. But overall, it's not a bad boot, but there's a lot of little things that I'm just, just not too thrilled about. First of all, let's talk about the heel. To me, this is just a dead stop no. I mean, there's no way this looks good. This just does not look good. Let me explain to you why. When you're looking at a proper balance of the heel, this right here needs to be a little bit shorter than the back to give it some balance. That's a proper balance right there. Now with this one, you see the difference here? You see how slanted this is? It's kind of sloped down. Not just visually, aesthetically, it doesn't look good. Whenever you have your heel right here in this, let's call the breast area of the heel low, it pushes your foot down on that spot, kind of sinks your arch down. This heel needs to be somewhat of a level, not too level, but not like this, where that design is, this design is like that. And unfortunately, when I put them on, they fit pretty good. They're very comfortable right off the bat. It's got a lot of larger toe area there. Not too thrilled about the shape of the last. It's just so bulky and just so in your face. But as far as comfort, it's very comfortable. My toes have plenty of room to wiggle there around in. But unfortunately, this area right here is not very good because this is way too low. We need to balance that heel. That's one of the biggest issues that I have with Thursday boots. Most of the Thursday boots are like that. Either their last is not right, or something along the way is not working. Because this does not look good. That does not look good at all. Aesthetically and structurally, it's not good for your foot. All right, we're going to try to see if we can change that around a little bit. Now, this is just my review of these boots. Again, it's not a collaboration. They may not like what I have to say, but it's just my opinion, and they can take it or leave it. Doesn't really matter. I just figured that I would buy a pair and break into them and see what they're actually made of, and to get an idea if I can kind of change them around the way I like them. It's not going to work for everybody, it's obvious, but we'll just take a look at to see what happens once we take it apart, to see what the guts are made of. Leather inner sole. It's the yellow pad inside here. The lining leather has got a lot of doesn't appear to be that very good quality. Now, most of the time the linings are not top quality, but this is very grainy, which means that maybe it's towards the belly of the hide or the neck of the hide. Soft fibers, it's very soft. Loose fibers, I should say, not soft. The exterior is nice, it's kind of cool. I like that finish. This is a stitch down construction. It's not a Goodyear welt. Basically, the uppers, they turn over like this. It gets stitched down. Goodyear welt is tucked under with a leather piece stitched from underneath. So let's take these apart and see what we've got. Now they've got a half sole and a heel pattern here. It appears to be rubber. It's not plastic. Is it good quality? I don't know. I'm really doubting that, but the heel bases, it looks like it's a few layers of leather, which is good. It's not fiberboard. Again, these don't have to be top quality leathers, just fillers basically. Again, we've got 2 full layers, and the rest of the 2 layers are about 3/4 and about half to give it that ski jump lift. I don't get that. Now they've got threaded nails securing the heel base on, which is good. Solid way to do that. Whether they're positioned correctly is another question, but again, it's not a really deal breaker. This is the sole basically they have for the boots. Again, this is just aesthetics, right? It's not centered to the boot, which is not a big deal, you know. You've got the nail here on the stitch, and this nail here is inside of the stitch. I mean, you want, if you're doing something, why not visually make it look appealing too, instead of, you know, not just structurally. But I don't know, maybe I'm nitpicking too much. Interesting. I've got a heel rand in the back. Usually, most of the time, whenever we have a stitch down construction like this, the sole goes all the way in the back. It becomes the back of the heel. But this doesn't make it. This doesn't make it bad. It's just a strange way of doing it. So they've got a footbed, which looks like maybe, I don't know, 5-6 ounce of veg tan. And they've got another layer right here, but there's not really, well, this is a shank, I guess, to them. That piece right there. I mean, there's no really structural support. Yeah, some of the PNW boots, you know, they have the leather shanks, but to give a nice support, you've got to have something there. I prefer metal myself, but to each his own. I don't think that's much support right there. Well, we're going to put a nice beefy metal shank in here. Also, there's the toe counter here. I mean, it is a toe counter, yes. Is it a very stiff toe counter? Not really. It looks like they just have a piece of leather right here, not really actual toe piece, toe cap. It appears to be leather. Whether it's decent leather or not, I don't think it is. You know, shouldn't do that. It's very thin. But again, I guess it depends on what kind of toe structure you're going for. As far as the heel counter, I'm not sure yet. I haven't got to that. I think it's a leather heel counter also, but let me take the back apart and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Now, I'm not a boot maker or shoemaker, but I know some aspects of what the boot or shoe should look like when it's done to properly balance it. This is a last that we have here. Now, in order to get a good balance, you've got to raise the heel up and to get that level right there. If it's too low or too high, it's not going to work. So with their last, this area right here is so low that when you're stepping down, your arch is going to sink because there's nothing there that's supporting your arch. This is way too low here. Now, I think that's my major issue with this particular boot is the shape of the heel right here. And not just aesthetically, just structurally, there's no support right here. This is too low at this angle. And when you step down, your arch is going to sink in and you're not going to get a proper support. So it looks like the heel counter is leather. Again, it's a very thin leather, but it is leather. So we remove this so-called shank and we're going to rebuild these, give it some nice structural support around the arch area, and then we'll see how it looks like compared to what it used to look like. Now, another thing is that I don't again, this is just my preference, right? I like speed hooks, last 3 holes right here. I mean, when you take these boots off, you know, you got to almost unlace them to remove them. Not all of them unlace them, obviously, just the top piece, the top eyelets there. And, you know, it's so much easier to have those speed hooks just to tie them and just to kind of make it easier once you put them on and off. It's not for everybody, I know. Some people hate speed hooks, some people like them, but it just makes sense to have those there for easy removal and you know, putting it back on your feet. Just my personal preference. Yes, and I'll be adding a couple of speed hooks right there. So we got our beefy 3-rib shank here. Put some cushion right there. Now we get to resole them again. Now I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. If I'm going to put, what kind of sole I'm going to put on. I'm going to put a leather sole. We're going to do a rubber half sole. But I'm not sure what kind yet. So we're just kind of winging it, see what happens. I'm sure we'll come up with something. Hammer time. All right. This is just basically anti-squeak. Just a canvas fabric I put on there. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. You guys see that shape now? It's getting a lot better than what it was. Gave it a little bit of curve so we can kind of build up on that spot to give it some arch support there. All right, let's continue. All right, so I'm at a crossroads here. I don't know what to do. We want to do a half rubber sole, leather heel base, and a rubber top lift. My original idea was the vintage cat's paw. Okay. I think that would look really cool, along with the heel. Then my mind wandered off to Dr. Soles. This is a pair that I have. This is the burlap. They don't make these anymore. But then the more I think about it, if I do a heavy sole like that, it's going to look pretty chunky. Maybe a little bit too thick, you know? And then I wandered off, my mind wandered off to doing a regular, this is the Explosion Vibram, regular sole guard type. So we would stitch the leather first, and then we would glue this on top. That would give you that low profile of more of a dress boot than more of a chunky boot. I'm veering to something like this. I don't know what, I mean, there's so many options I could do. We can do this one also. You know, maybe we could do this one. We can do this one and recess the edges, shave down the edges so it doesn't look so chunky. That's a good option, I think. Damn, I think we just got it. Did we just get it? Oh, man. Still looks pretty thick. All right, I gotta figure something out. All right, we have a winner. We have a winner. Vibram mini lug, recess the edges, stitch the whole thing together. This way we get the nice rough, the whatchamacallit, the grip, and also very thin profile from the edge. I think it'll look very nice. Yes, yes, good. I think it was a good decision. All right, here goes nothing. Not too bad. You can do any color you want thread-wise. Top I want to do white. I want to do very similar to what was on there. You can darken that up a little bit. It was a little bit darker than that, but I think that looks fine. Bottom thread, you can do whatever color you want. I just happen to have red on the machine. That's why I left it like that. So that's what we call properly balanced heel and boot. All right, so we put the high density foam underneath the heel. It's a little bit better than what the manufacturer had in there. So give it more life so it won't wear out as fast. But that's minor detail, that's not a problem. What they had in there was not bad. I just decided to give it a little bit upgrade. So we are almost done with this job. So I have to put the final touches on the edges of the sole. I'm going to put the speed hooks and we'll be ready to go. All right, this is what we call stud speed hook. Matches the color perfectly, right? All right, let's continue. All right, welcome back. We are done with another project. What a difference from what it was to what it is, okay? Now, I didn't change much of the boot. There's lots of things that I upgraded to the manufacturer could do without additional cost. Additional cost might be very minute to them because you don't necessarily have to use Vibram soles. For example, they had the right idea, a single stitch down. Most of the PNW boots have a double stitch down. That's one thing that they took away from that, would make it a little bit less of a quality, I'm guessing, but it's okay with me. I like that. It turned out pretty good, single stitch. It's more of a dressier boot than an outdoors boot. I think that's what they're going for originally. Now, as far as the heel stack, that's to me, that's automatically, I would not wear those boots, period. You know, I've talked to several of my colleagues in the business, and same issue, same thing with them. This decision was that if that heel's like that, there's no way. That does not look good at all. They need to change that. That's like the biggest thing that's the flaw in this boot. The rest of it, not a big deal. Speed hooks, for example. That's my preference. It's not everybody's taste the way they want like that. As far as the leather sole, it had a leather sole, which is fine. At half rubber sole, half rubber heel. Actually, heels, half heels. That was good. It was secured with nails. The shank, what shank? There was no shank. It's a piece of leather, flimsy piece of leather that I wouldn't even put in there if the customer asked for it. There was no support whatsoever. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Maybe it's the way that their lasts are shaped, that it's way too low at this section here that, everything else follows around it. It's very simple. Simply put a metal shank in, give it a little bit of a curve, and look at the difference the way it looks now. Day and night difference. Would I have worn them originally when I purchased them like that? Probably not, unfortunately to say. But would I wear them now? Oh, hell yeah. These are solid boots now, not just structurally, but visually. Now, I think their idea is, to catch the $350 range price for customers, which is fine. It's not bad for a $325 boot, but that heel, man, you guys got to change that heel. That heel is a huge no-no. As far as the last shape, I mean, it's pretty bulbous toe. It's not bad, It takes a little bit getting used to, but it's not bad. I wear a size 10.5. This is a size 10, and it fits me perfectly. So it's not bad at all. But when you think about the $350 range, my Drew's boots, I mean, this is solid, much more superior than what you have there. And this is at $350, okay? But again, this is not a dress boot. I think that's what Thursday was trying to do. Not really the PNW boots, but some of the details of the PNW boots and having a dressier boot at the same time. So that's what the difference is, if I'm not mistaken, that they're trying to go for. But as far as everything else, I think it's not a bad boot. I like the pull tab. Some people don't like it. It's a soft pull tab. I like that. It's easy to put on and off. What else? The leather, the uppers. I love the uppers. I always like that antique look, that broken in look. Not really shiny, brand new. And this is durable as hell. You can do whatever you want with these boots, and you're not going to have any issues as far as the uppers getting messed up. It's a very durable leather. All right, so I think overall, like the Thursday boot, for this particular boot, maybe I would give it a 5. I personally wouldn't wear it the way it was originally. I know that they had a collaboration with Carl, which is fine, but we are in the business of repairing and restorations, and we know what's involved in structural, the way that's supposed to be. Not that Carl doesn't know it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that at all. I don't even know Carl. I subscribe to his channel, but I don't know Carl. He looks like he's a cool dude. But other than that, I think it turned out fine. All right. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Subscribe, thumbs up, comment, yes or no, bad or good. I'll take it all. Next video, I've got some varsity jackets I want to do. Also, I've got a pair of Alden Indie boot, which we're going to do shell cordovan black. We're going to do something different with converting them from 360 to 270. So that might be next. I'm not sure yet. Okay, thank you for joining me, guys. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions, email me, betos@yahoo.com. And please have pictures and descriptions of what you want. And there's an automatic response to the email stating that we received your email and we'll get back to you in a timely manner, which means that I received your email. You don't have to call me, ask me if I received your email and when I'm going to get back to you. I'm going to do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. I don't sit in front of the computer every day, but as soon as I get a chance, I'll correspond back with you guys. All right. Thanks again. We'll see you guys on the next project. Take care.